Hi, I'm Jeff Glubka. Welcome back to my workshop. In the last video, I attached the main headgear antlers to both of these wireframes that I made, and at the end of the video, I was waiting for antlers so I could continue working on the rest of the build. Well, I've got the antlers. So let's get started building. I've got a couple hours to spend, so I'm going to see how far I can get down one of these antler heads. Oh, that reminds me. I finally settled on a name for these things. I couldn't come up with something that was catchy other than shed heads, which I was kind of avoiding because it sounds sort of like a insult, but you just don't say it that fast and it should be okay. So I'm going to call them shed heads, I guess. So I'm going to get, see, even that sounded too fast. So I'm going to get started on probably this one right here. Um, I'm going to work around the antlers, probably down the face, and hopefully get the jaw today. I don't know how far I'll get, but this video is going to be a lot of me holding antlers in place, standing back, looking at them. I'll take you with me through the first few, but after that, there's probably going to be a lot of fast forward editing and jumping from cut to cut. But that's what it takes to do them. So here we go. I spent this morning cutting a bunch of these apart. I got a lot of them as old mounts. So I spent a couple hours at the bandsaw getting them all cut up and paired up. Turns out I've got 48 matched pairs and probably another dozen loose antlers. So before I get too much further, I want to give a shout out to uh, Rustic Retreat, Tom at Rustic Retreat Deer Farm. I got a bunch of antlers from him a few weeks ago. I want to give a shout out to Craig Wishbrocker. I just bought a bunch of antlers from him yesterday, and that's what really put me over the hump, and I was able to get started on this. I know there's someone else I got a bunch of antlers from. Oh, Red Rock Antlers in Iowa. I got the main headgear from them, and I've just been keeping my feelers out trying to find sources for antlers. But I've got enough now to get moving, so that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be a lot of me just holding antlers up and seeing how I like the fit and making that funny face that I make while I'm fitting them. It's a subconscious thing. I'm trying to avoid cutting off the base, but some of these you have to in order to get them to fit right. So, kind of is what it is. nice like that. I rounded off the cut ends here. I don't know how well you can see it, but I had just flat cut off ends. I wanted to round those off so it looked a little finished, because this will actually be pointing forward to the front as you see the finished head. I wanted to get rid of the cut marks, the cut lines from the bandsaw, and just give it a nice rounded finish. I don't know, I may end up having to cut off these bases. It depends on how well the other antlers match up. So the next step is to position them where I want them, drill the pinholes, cut the pins, weld those on, make sure I like the positioning, and then I can epoxy them in place. There's one. Oh no, that one went through. Good one. Yeah. Okay. So that's really close to what I want. I'm gonna have to cut the bases off and cut the brow tines off to get them to tuck in real nice to here. These I had to trim the bases off too. I did that off camera because they were just sticking out too wide to be able to get other antlers to fit in around the face. Yep. So I'll trim those off. right about there. And what I'm going to have to do is drill a hole in the side of this antler here, in the end of that one, and run a pin across, and then pin them up from the inside. Fortunately there I can just drill right through, and then I can fill the back side of that with some epoxy and blend it in, and that'll help me locate it. And that's where that'll live. Alright. There we go. So I'm going to have to cut some off of the wireframe off the snout, because the ends of these antlers are only going to be about that far out. But that's okay. I anticipated having to shorten it, which is fine. So I skipped ahead quite a ways in the process. I've got both heads just about done. I know I said I wasn't going to paint the frames just because it was such a pain on the first one to take everything back apart, spray paint it, and put it back together. So what I did with this one was, with these two actually, was I just painted what was would be visible from the face and then down the front of the neck, just to try to blend that in because it was sticking out a little bit more than I wanted it to. Plus, up around the main headgear, those bolts and plates, you could see they stuck out pretty good too. But what I did is I just took the spray paint, sprayed it in a container, and then used the detail brush to just reach in there and paint it on. So now all I have left is to epoxy on the last of the pieces that go up the bridge of the nose and over the top of the head on both of these, and they'll be complete. So we'll video that part anyway. So here are the second and third shed heads complete. This is the one that looks slightly to its left. That's number 3. And number 2 is the one that looks to the right. They're similar but not identical to the first one. So there they are, completed. If you're interested in one, you can get a hold of me at jbgcustomcreations@gmail. Or if you want one custom made, I can do that too. Same contact. Thanks again for watching.